Welcome to another episode of Bob's Bullet Points. I'm Bob Main. So this video, I'm going to talk about some expensive guns. A few weeks ago, I did one of my audio podcasts entitled Expensive Guns, and I explained what I was talking about that. And I covered, should you carry an expensive gun or not? I'll tell you what prompted this. I've heard so many different people say things like this. Well, I carry a cheap gun because if I have to use it in defense of my life, the cops are going to take it away from me, and at least I'm not out that much money. I think that's kind of a silly argument. Why would you carry a substandard firearm in defense of your life just because you're worried that somebody's going to take it away? What's more important, retaining your gun or retaining your life? I think it should be the other way around, personally. I think you should carry the highest quality gun that you can afford. Now, usually the higher quality guns are a little bit more expensive. So I'm going to define expensive gun in a few minutes here, but usually they're a little bit more expensive. But why wouldn't you want to have the highest quality gun to defend your life? That's the most important thing, is it not? You can always get another gun later. I mean, think about it, folks. It's only money and it's only a tool. And if you know the right people, you might even be able to get somebody to sell a gun to you that's fairly inexpensive, that's maybe almost a replacement of what you had. So you were carrying a used gun to begin with. Think about that. Many of us buy our guns new. The minute you take them to the range and shoot them, they're used. Technically, the minute you take ownership from the dealer, it's a used gun. So most of us are out there carrying used guns. All you have to do is go on the market for another used gun if you lose those. But I'm saying I think it's kind of backwards to have that argument, well, I'm going to carry a cheap gun in case it gets taken away from me by the cops. Here's my primary carry. My Shadow Systems MR920 Elite. Shadow Systems MR920 Elite. What a fantastic firearm. It's not cheap. This gun cost me nearly $1,000. It's extremely high quality and it's got great features. I've done other videos. I'll put a link in the bottom to my Shadow Systems review. I'd like you to watch that. I think this gun, it's working fantastic for me. I think the money I spent on this, every dollar is well worth it to defend my life. Keep in mind, that's the most important thing here. Defending my life, and does this gun work for me? A little bit smaller gun that is rather expensive is my Sig Sauer P365 XL. This is the optics cut version of the P365 series, my P365 XL. Again, it's a high quality gun, and it's on the upper level of the price range. That's okay for me. My life is worth that. Is yours worth that? Think about this. It's something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, because I don't think it's a really good argument to make that I carry a cheap gun in case the cops take it away from me. I'll conclude with this. What's an expensive gun? Well, you can get really good guns for a reasonable amount of money. I guess instead of calling it expensive guns, I probably should have called this video quality guns. Because usually you get what you pay for. Usually. Not always. I understand there are guns you could spend $2,000 on, and I wouldn't trust them to defend my life with some of these guns that I spend $2,000 buying. And I had a couple like that I spent almost $2,000, and I got rid of them later because I couldn't depend on them. And I'm not going to get into specifics because I know I may make some people angry. I may ruffle some feathers. But let's just say an expensive gun is probably something that costs a little bit more than normal. It's got a few more features and upgrades than normal. This looks like a Glock 19, but it's not a Glock 19. This is a far better gun, this Shadow Systems MR920 Elite. The barrel is better. The grip is better. The trigger is better. The frame modifications are better. The sights are a lot better. The beaver tail makes it a fantastic gun to control. The magwell, all these things contribute to a better gun. This is not just a Glock 19. Some of the internal parts are better. This is a highly modified, highly improved Glock 19. And it's not modified because I bought it just like this, out of the box. So, this is how it came. And it's a much improved, much better firearm. $1,000 is a lot of money. People say, you paid $1,000 for a Glock, Bob. Okay, yeah. So what? I paid $1,000 for a Glock. I paid $1,000 for a Glock-like gun that is so much better than an ordinary Glock 19. I am not saying an ordinary Glock 19 is a bad gun. So let's not, don't tell me I'm saying that. I'm just saying I spent the money for a high quality gun. I don't care if the police take this away from me. Because you know what? If I have to defend myself, if I got to use this gun to save my life, and the police have to take it away from me, guess what? I'm still living to tell the story. That's most important to me. How about you? Are you still living to tell the story? Thanks for tuning in. Listen to my audio podcast. I'm going to put a link in the show notes, link in the video here. I did a whole podcast on this, on expensive guns. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Go over and listen to my audio podcast. Subscribe to that if you haven't already. Please take care of my sponsors, Keepers Concealment, makers of, I think, the absolute best appendix carry system and appendix carry holsters you can buy. Keepers Concealment. And you also, by the way, speaking of expensive guns, if you join the CCW Safe affiliate program at Keepers Concealment, the CCW Safe affiliate program, and that will be in the show notes, they have coverage that will replace your firearm if it's taken from you in a lawful defensive shooting. Okay? So that's another reason to have things like that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Mayne. I'll catch you next time. Thanks.